Welcome to my digital literacy journey. My name is Dani. I'm a 21-year-old senior at Syracuse University. I'm from Wayne, New Jersey. Have you ever heard of us? I'm sure you can't escape the wrath of New Jersey television. Just saying, there's only one cast member from the Jersey Shore who's actually from New Jersey. Anyways, Wayne, New Jersey is a suburb of New York City, and it is only about 20 miles away from the city. The crazy ex-Bravo housewife, Danielle Staub, is from our lovely town, giving the rest of America the worst impression possible. We are a middle-class area with a dominantly white population. We love football. My high school is a 7-time state champion in the past 9 years, and we're commonly on CNN because our town is situated below the Passaic River and tends to flood. Sometimes they make it seem a lot worse than it is. Yep, that's a reporter in a boat with only about a foot of water on the ground. Now that you know a little bit about me, let's get down to what this is really about: digital literacy. It's strange to think about your history with something when you're only 21 years old. Do I really have a history? And especially since as long as I can remember, computers have been a part of my life. I guess I was extremely fortunate to have a dork of a father who actually enjoyed taking apart and rebuilding computers. But the emphasis should be put on the word dork. I was always behind the time when it came to what was cool to do online, and ironically, my father's choices paved that path, only a little bit slower than everyone else's. I was never part of the generation that learned computers in school. That was after my time. There was always a single computer in classrooms, a few in the libraries, and possibly a computer room depending on what decade of my education we're talking about. But I never really learned computer skills in a classroom. When it came to computers, it was all about doing what was cool and what others were doing with their free time. The first time I remember playing on a computer was at camp, playing the Oregon Trail. Computers was the double-edged swords of activities. It was really nice because it was air-conditioned, but it was really geeky compared to arts and crafts. It was still above music, a little bit cooler, because a creepy lady singing about friendship is always really awkward. We would sit at the huge computers, traveling across the country to a place we had never been in our own little wagon. Why I always died of the plague, only a few minutes away from the end, I'll never know. It's okay though, when I was 6, I didn't know what the plague was anyway. Either way, our time spent at computers was always limited to the assigned slot and rainy days. We never chose it on our own. For us girls, arts and crafts and gymnastics was the way to go if you wanted to be cool. As a child, computers didn't play a huge role in my life except for computer games. But only a few years later did computers come back into my world again, and once again, popularity was always a factor. I had never had the experience of having AOL because my dad didn't like their services, so we had Optimum Online instead. I was always behind when it came to the trends on the internet. I remember going over to my friend Melissa's house and going on her Kids AOL. At first, I didn't understand why we were having conversations on a screen with Kim, Melissa's next door neighbor, when she's, literally next door. But while everyone was chatting on AIM, I was playing with clip art programs just because of my dad's really cool choice of service providers. So that was around the 6th grade, and once the AOL craze died down a little bit, the company decided to make its services available for those who didn't have just their internet services. And welcome to the days of AIM. I was able to download just the chat feature and be like the people that were chatting into the middle of the night that they've been doing it for a while. There are even versions that you could download that saved your conversation, which I thought was really cool. You could save a funny part of a conversation, and you always could remember what was said. Although all these things seemed really cool at the time, one learned a lesson really quickly that you didn't always know who you were talking to. I'm not talking about like the creepy pedophile living in his mother's basement that every adult warned you about, but like your one friend that's talking to you that doesn't tell you that they're sitting there with 3 other people. Or the other friend that copy and pastes your conversation and sends it to other people. Or the worst of them all, the friend that prints out the conversation and brings it to school with them. I remember in 7th grade, the it couple was Jamie and John. How cute, first name matching initials. Anyway, I remember when it all started, it was all everyone was talking about, and everyone was just saying, "Did you know they were dating? Have you heard about them?" At first it was really innocent. It started online. "Did you hear about them? Blah, blah, blah." Then came the rumors of what they were doing. "Did you hear they hooked up?" Which was kind of racy for 7th grade. Unfortunately, Jamie and John, the talking and the rumors didn't stop, and AOL and AIM just kind of flamed the fuel. Then MySpace hit. I never really got into it because I think I didn't enjoy the creepy random people that friended you. Anyways, I kind of waited until Facebook to start social networking. Unlike MySpace, everyone had a Facebook, and if you didn't, it just wasn't cool, and also kind of weird when someone asked because you really didn't have a reason not to have one. It was really fun, and it was a great waste of time because you were able to load pictures and write on other people's wall. Granted, now there are all new features since then, and Facebook has kind of taken the place of AIM. Guess it's the Google of social networking. The internet, for me, was all fun and games until I got to college. Yes, I typed up papers and Googled things, but it wasn't really educational. Then I got to Syracuse and everything changed. Everything was online. You couldn't get class notes unless you went on Blackboard. You couldn't even find your class schedule unless you went onto MySpace. I would say it was a lot to take in, but it really wasn't. I mean, I had been on computers for years. It wasn't scary or new, just different. Had all the fun and games really prepared me for using computers in a productive way? Eventually, the fun and games died down, and the whole productive internet took over. Our professors didn't preach about the dangers of the internet or like the creepy people anymore. It was all about how you could use it to teleconference in India, or how employers used your Facebook page to see how you were spending your time off. It was a whole new way of doing things, and we were the start of it. Also, social networking let you stay in touch with people who you didn't always talk to. It wasn't just for college students anymore. Facebook was now for adults. Even my dad joined. Granted, I only friended him once I was sure he had pure intentions. He had tried to join a few years back only to keep track of me and my brother, which is a possibility when it comes to adults on Facebook. But keeping in touch with old friends that you made years ago or family members far away was now possible and really convenient. So, I'm not saying that spending half of your time playing games or chatting with no purpose other than socializing is the way to spend your days, but it looks like I didn't turn out all too bad. Digital literacy is a funny thing. It's not always about doing what's educational, especially when it comes to soft skills, which are what employers say they want in new hires, or that's at least what career service keeps telling me. But computers and the internet are funny in the way that it teaches you when you're not even trying. When you Google something fun, you learn how you can Google something educational. Never be afraid of what's new. Yes, there's always the chance of the next generation coming out the day after you buy your new technology, but you're still learning, and you never know what skills will come from playing that video game or trying the new websites all your friends are talking about. Life has a funny way of working itself out, and the digital world is a big and exciting place. Enjoy your digital adventures, and you never know where your journey might take you.